Hello, hello. Welcome to Healthy Perspectives, a podcast that takes on current cultural and social issues through a clinical lens. Hello, hello. All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we appreciate your time. And today we're going to do an episode on questions for Jeremiah. It's actually, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the questions for Jeremiah. I've actually had a recent question. I'm glad people are paying attention enough to ask this question. Why are your podcasts inconsistently uploaded lately? It's true. I've had a strong string of consistently, usually 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of a thing. And lately, over the last, I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, something like that, it's been a little more inconsistent. And even the times that I'm dropping are different. And there's various reasons as to why. Number one, I don't do this to make a living. Plain and simple. I do this because I want to help people. I don't get paid for this. This is me offering my area of expertise. Not that I know everything, because by no stretch of the imagination do I claim to be an expert on most things. But I do have a lot of training and knowledge and experience working in the clinical world and understanding culture and social groupings and psychological issues. And I want to offer that to people because the reality is most people out there can't afford to come see me. And I know that. And I still want to try to reach them as much as I can to help them. So if anybody finds this useful, that's a good thing. But why am I inconsistent? Because I also have to make a living. And frankly, the mental health stuff is like I could probably work 80 hours a week right now in my office. And I don't think I'm exaggerating. I really don't. The need for mental health is really high. And obviously there's explanations as to why. Look around you. Look around you. There's other reasons. I got a kid getting ready to go to college. I got some prep to do there. It also means I have to make a little bit more money, and I'm not making any money on this. And so, when it comes right down to it, there are days where I choose, and I know it's a choice. I choose to give to clients who also can feed my family, help my family go to college and stuff. I had a lot of debt coming out of school. And I don't want my kid to have that. I don't want either of my kids to have that. So I'm working really hard to make sure that I do a generational change from one generation to the next. And so there is that. The other thing, this week in particular, I produced a podcast for Wednesday. Now, if you look at my upload date on this particular podcast, you'll notice it's not Wednesday. I couldn't release it. Very rarely has this happened to me, but it happened this week. I was so and am so disgusted in our culture right now that I produced an entire podcast. And in the review process, I had to look at that and say, is this really what I want to put out there into the world? Which leads me to my tip of the day. Filter. That's simple. Filter. Why is that the tip of the day? I, in this particular situation, did a good job of setting the example. I don't always do a good job of setting the example. I know that. I'm imperfect. The reason I did a good job this time is because if I had put that podcast out, what are those memes out there with Joe Biden and the eyes, those red eyes? You would have seen that. You absolutely would have seen that. And it would have been hugely disappointing for me to look at myself in that way. I was really upset. And I was upset for reasons that might be different than the reasons you all are upset. Happy to share those. And it does lead into what I want to share with you today. I was upset because of the lack of humanity. I was looking around and I was getting angry, and I had to move that anger into its primary emotion. Instead of being angry, I had to move to a place of complete sadness. The lies, secrets, and deceptions are ridiculous. They are enormous. They are hugely problematic. I'm not talking about a little bit problematic. They are hugely problematic. The lack of care for human life, from my vantage point, seems to be at an all-time high. Now, maybe it's because of the rhetoric that I'm hearing. That's possible. But the reality is, from my vantage point, when I'm looking at our culture, Saturday evening, we have an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Last I checked, Donald Trump is a human being. He breathes, he walks, he eats, he probably farts and poops and pees. Can you imagine him not doing those things? And somebody attempted to kill him. And they did kill a man who gave his life for his family. Maybe that was by accident. It still happened. And I found myself feeling really disappointed that this could happen. Probably like all of you felt disappointed. And then I heard things. Like, well, you know what? Let me just show you the kinds of things that I heard. Because it matters, folks. It really, truly matters. Here, I'll give you an example.
Okay. So last night, President Biden spoke directly to the American people about the urgent need to come together and lower the temperature in our politics. We must remember that while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We are fellow Americans, and we must stand together. We must stand together in the wake of an attempted assassination on the former President of the United States. Over the past several days, the President has been briefed regularly by key members of his Homeland Security team and seen.
Okay, folks, this is the kind of stuff that I was hearing, right? And here, let me give you more. Let me give you more. I also heard things like this.
California Democrats quickly releasing statements condemning all political violence. Governor Gavin Newsom saying in a statement, "Violence has no place in our democracy. My thoughts are with President Trump and everyone impacted at the rally today." U.S. Representative Adam Schiff says he's horrified by this apparent assassination attempt. There's no place for political violence in our democracy, absolutely none. Grateful for the swift response by law enforcement and Secret Service, wishing President Trump a swift recovery. LA Mayor Karen Bass calling the shooting unacceptable and tragic, adding, quote, "Political violence has no place in our nation. I wish former President Trump a full recovery, and my thoughts are with all of those impacted this evening." I caught up with
And then, folks, even more. I hear things like this.
You called your opponent an existential threat on a call a week ago. You said it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. There's some dispute about the context, but I think you appreciate that.
I didn't say crosshairs. I was talking about focus on. Look, the truth of the matter was, what I guess I was talking about at the time was, there's very little focus on Trump's agenda.
Yeah, the term is bullseye.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. I meant focus on him. Focus on what he's doing.
Folks, my disappointment, if I'm being really honest with you, and I'm always attempting to be really honest with you, is y'all believe these lies. Not all, Let's be real. Probably most of my audience does not believe most of these lies. But a lot of people believe these lies. And I say they're lies because in less than 72 hours from an attempt to assassinate a human being, all the rhetoric returned. Pretty much straight across the board. So for 48 hours or thereabouts, we got a break from stupidity. And if I released my last podcast that I produced, I went crazy in that podcast. But there's no place for that. And I had to filter it. So unfortunately, you all lose because you don't get to hear my takes. But they weren't good. They weren't good takes. I mean, maybe they were okay, but they were angry, folks. They were angry because I am disappointed in humanity. In the United States, we are better than this, but we're not living better than this. There's so much hatred being spewed all over the place. I don't want Biden dead. I want him retired where he belongs. I don't want Trump dead. I'd love better options on both parties. But we don't have that. We don't have that because the right now there's so much hatred, so many lies, secrets, and deceptions that none of y'all know what to think. And I get it. I don't necessarily know what to think either. But I can tell you what we do here at Healthy Perspectives. If you would share this with people, it matters. It matters because I'm not here to tell you what to think. I don't care if you agree with me or not. I'm not going to hate you. And I'm not going to judge you. Debate? Maybe. We can debate things. There's two options here, folks. Love up close or love at a distance. Period. There is no room for this hate. And you can probably tell by my voice, my tone, volume, and cadence, I'm getting fired up again, folks. Because people believe that crap I just showed you. That these people are against violence. Where were they during Antifa and BLM? Where were they? Where were they on January 6th? Where were they? They were irrelevant. They disappeared because they didn't care. They don't care. They just realized, oh crap, if I don't care right now, then nobody's going to like me. Truth is, I'm not sure I do like them. I love them. I don't like them. They're not good. Healthy. They believe in lies, secrets, and deceptions. They believe in destroying relationships. They believe that 50 to 60% of the country is evil. And I say that's false. I think it's probably more like 5% of the country is evil. That's probably true. And about 45% of the country, maybe to 60%, is naive. They have apathy. They don't know how to care about things that matter because they haven't taken the time to figure out what they think on all the issues. They pick one, they pigeonhole themselves, and they fight that fight, being blind to everything else. They don't know what their principles are, how their moral compass works. They're looking for the next cool thing. 45 to 60% probably of the population functions like that. And these liars, deceivers, secret keepers, prey on them. And if that's you folks, they're preying on you too. And that the other day was breaking my heart. It was breaking my heart because all the terrible rhetoric is back. All the lies, secrets, and deceptions, they're back. People saying that this assassination attempt was staged. Are you kidding me? Tell that to the family that lost a dad that day. That's terrible. Terrible. Look, we could pick this thing apart. But here's what I wanted to do. I was angry the other day, a little bit angrier today. And when I get angry, I have a response. I'm not going to tell you this has to be your response because I don't tell you what to think. But when I'm angry, I go, because I know how emotions work, and I know how culture works, and I know how social groupings work, and I know how psychology works. I flip the narrative and I ask, am I loving enough? My hope is that the answer to that is yes. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today, folks. Genuinely. I don't know you. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. But I love you. And I'm not talking about some weird love. I'm talking about love like a friend. Love like if we were together, we could go swimming at the lake. That I'm committed to what's in our best interest to the best of my ability. There's 7 different kinds of love, folks. You can go back and listen to my podcasts. And I love you in all the appropriate ways that I can. And I mean it. Genuinely, I mean it. Thank you for listening. And we'll be back again soon. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate our audience a lot, so we give you some simple ways to track us down. Please like, subscribe, and follow all the podcasts on different platforms, but you can also email us at healthyperspectives@protonmail.com, or you can check out our website at healthy-perspectives.com/podcast. It's a backward slash. So if you want to go to our landing page, if you go to healthy-perspectives.com, you'll still find us. You just got to click on the podcast button. Thank you so much.